Good day, everyone. Let's continue to delve deeper into our research as we present to you the Chapter 4 and Chapter 5 of our study entitled Designing Ethical Foundations, Importance of Stakeholder Engagement. Before we proceed, let me introduce myself. I am Louise Cruz, together with my co-researchers, Mr. Jebart P. Buluran, Ms. Shiela Mae C. Perez, and Ms. Rhinalyn Mae DC Teodoro.
I am Rhinalyn Mae DC Teodoro, third-year Visay student from Buluran Polytechnic College. We're now presenting the key findings from Chapter 4, the discussion, and now we are in the conclusion of our study. A well-designed code of ethics is not merely a formality. It's the bedrock of a thriving organization. Our study shows a clear connection between comprehensive ethical guidelines and a significant reduction in ethical violations. This isn't just about compliance. It's about cultivating a culture of trust and integrity that strengthens the entire organization. While many organizations have adopted codes of ethics, our study reveals areas ripe for improvement. We found a notable gap between adoption and effective implementation. Many organizations adopt code of ethics, yet implementation often falls short. Key weaknesses include inadequate ethics training, lacking real-world application, limited employee involvement in code development, weak enforcement mechanisms, inefficient leadership commitment, and a failure to regularly update the code to reflect evolving circumstances. These omissions significantly impact the code's effectiveness and its ability to truly shape organizational behavior. However, contrary to the perception of ethics as a mere compliance burden, our research demonstrates its strategic value. Organizations with strong ethical programs consistently report enhanced investor confidence and a significantly improved reputation. This translates to tangible benefits such as stronger market standing, increased profitability, and long-term sustainability. This strategic value extends beyond financial performance. A strong ethical culture fosters increased employee engagement and loyalty, leading to higher retention rates and reduced recruitment costs. Employees are more likely to be motivated and productive when they work for an organization that values integrity and ethical conduct. Furthermore, a commitment to ethical practices strengthens relationships with stakeholders, including customers, suppliers, and communities. A key theme emerging from our research is the importance of stakeholder engagement. While many companies involve stakeholders to some degree, the level of meaningful participation remains moderate. This limited involvement hinders the code's ability to truly reflect the values and concerns of the entire organization. A more inclusive approach is crucial for creating a truly effective and widely accepted code. Ultimately, ethical leadership is the cornerstone of a strong ethical culture. Ethical leadership isn't about merely setting rules. It's about embodying them. Leaders who champion ethical conduct must actively model the behaviors they expect from their employees. This includes transparency in decision making, fairness in resource allocation, and accountability for actions. Furthermore, effective ethical leaders foster a culture of open communication where employees feel comfortable raising ethical concerns without fear of reprisal. They create a safe space for dialogue and encourage critical thinking about ethical dilemmas. This proactive approach to ethical leadership goes beyond compliance. It cultivates a culture of integrity where ethical considerations are integrated into every aspect of the organization's operations, from strategic planning to daily tasks. Ultimately, ethical leadership is not just a desirable trait. It's a critical success factor for building and sustaining a truly ethical organization.
Good day, everyone. I am Elizabeth Louise of Cruz, and I will continue the presentation of our research conclusion. This conclusion, constant change and review, emphasizes the idea that ethical standards are not static. They must evolve over time. This is because societies, technologies, industries, and workplace dynamics are continuously changing. What may be considered ethical today could become outdated or insufficient in the future. So, regularly reviewing and updating the code of ethics ensures it stays relevant and effective in addressing new challenges, dilemmas, and expectations. It also helps organizations to maintain public trust, encourage responsible behavior, and support employees in making morally sound decisions in ever-changing environments. In short, it underscores the need for adaptability and responsiveness in ethical guidance. Next is that the study supports the foundational importance of ethical governance. It means that the research highlights how crucial it is or how crucial ethical governance is to the success and integrity of any organization. So by supporting this idea, the study shows that ethical governance not only helps build trust among the stakeholders, such as the employees, customers, and the shareholders, but it also promotes long-term stability and prevents misconduct. Let's now move forward to our recommendations. We recommend the inclusive code development that suggests that the process of creating or updating a code of ethics should involve input from a diverse range of stakeholders within the organization. This includes employees, customers, or shareholders. So by involving different perspectives from them, the result of the code is more likely to be relevant, practical, and widely accepted. It also ensures that the ethical guidelines reflect the real experiences, values, and challenges faced by different groups. In addition, inclusive development also fosters a sense of ownership and commitment, encouraging adherence and promoting a more ethical organizational culture overall. Next recommendation is establish effective reporting mechanisms and whistleblower protection. It highlights the need for organizations to create safe and accessible channels for reporting unethical behavior or misconduct. This involves setting up a safe place wherein victims or witnesses can truly trust the person they are speaking with and where employees can voice concerns without fear of retaliation. Whistleblower is also important as it ensures that individuals who report wrongdoings are safeguarded from discrimination, harassment, or job loss. By establishing both mechanisms and protections, organizations can promote a culture of transparency, accountability, and trust that encourage ethical behavior across different levels of organizations. Another recommendation is continuous review and improvement. It emphasizes the importance of regularly evaluating and enhancing the organization's ethical framework. This means that organizations should not treat the code of ethics or the governance practices as fixed documents or just a formality, but as living guidelines that must adapt to new challenges, laws, societal expectations, and internal feedback. Also, ongoing review helps identify gaps, outdated practices, and areas needing reinforcement. Improvement initiatives may include updating policies, offering new training, or refining enforcement procedures. Ultimately, this approach ensures that ethical standards remain relevant, effective, and aligned with the organization's goals and values.
So, good day everyone. My name is Jebart Buluran and this is chapter 4. So, today I will be discussing another part of recommendation which is encourage ethical leadership. So, this recommendation highlights that the need for ethical leadership in the workplace. So, leaders must serve as a role model by practicing fairness, transparency, and accountability. So, their action must influence how employees behave and how the company is perceived. So, when the leaders demonstrate integrity, it creates a strong foundation for a values-driven culture. So, to make this happen, companies should invest in leadership development, and make sure that ethics is part of every decision at the top level. So, proceeding to the next slide. So, this slide shows improve ethics training. So, ethics training plays a critical role in helping employees understand and apply company values. So, many ethical issues happens not because of bad intentions, but rather due to lack of knowledge. So, regular training sessions, real-life case examples, and interactive module can help reinforce ethical behavior. So, the more employers are aware of which is right or wrong, the more confident they become in ethical choices. So, investing in training builds awareness, improves decision making, and support long-term ethical culture. So, proceeding to the next slides, which is include ethics in employee evaluations. So, incorporating ethical behavior into employee evaluations is a powerful way to reinforce company values. Often, performance reviews focus only on output, but ethics should be also measured. So, recognizing employees who act with honesty, respect, and responsibility encourages others to do the same. So, this approach sends a message that ethics matters, not just results. Over time, it leads to a more respectful, fair, and value-driven work environment. So, proceeding to the next chapter, which is executive summary. So, focuses on establishing and enforcing a code of ethics in a business. So, the main focus of this study is the creation and enforcement of a code of ethics. So, this code serves as a guide for how employees should behave or how decisions should be made. So, it helps to prevent misconduct, builds consistency, and also strengthen the company's reputations. So, however, simply having a written code is not enough. So, it must be applied in a daily operations. So, when properly enforced, it becomes a strong foundations for a long-term business success or business operation. So, this slide shows the importance of a ethical standards. So, this studies emphasizes how essential ethical standards are in any organizations. So, these standards guides professional behavior, promote fairness, and improve accountability. So, they also influence how the company is viewed by the public and by its own people. So, organizations that follow strong ethical practices gain trust, reduce risk, and achieve more sustainable success. So, in short, ethical standards help build a responsible, reliable, and respected workplace.
Good day everyone, my name is Shiela Mae C. Perez and I am the fourth reporter. I will be continuing our discussion on the executive summary. So as I mentioned in our previous discussion regarding the justification of the data collected, this study primarily utilized secondary data. Specifically, we relied to an existing journal titled Code of Ethics and Conduct in the Light of Corporate Governance, the Stakeholder's Perspective, which was published in 2021. The study focuses on how Code of Ethics and Conduct are implemented within both public and private organizations in Brazil. It involved 184 organizations and used descriptive survey method, gathering data through well-structured questionnaires. The findings reveals that although most organizations have adopted a code of ethics, there are still key areas that require improvement, especially when it comes to customizing these codes to address the specific needs of different stakeholders, because the findings indicate that around 80% of companies have implemented a code of ethics and conduct. However, 49.5% of them are using a single or standardized version, which may not effectively cater to diverse interests of all groups involved. Another key finding is about employee involvement in the creation of the code, showing a moderate level of engagement. This highlights the need for organization to actively involve employees in developing ethical policies to ensure these are relevant, effective, and widely embraced across the organization. This study also emphasizes that ethics extend beyond merely complying with legal requirements because when ethics are part in an organization's culture, they become a competitive advantage. They can help them to build a good or strong reputation, earn customer trust, and attract both ethical investors and top talent because companies that consistently doing the right thing tend to create a stronger brand and gain loyal customers, standing out from those that simply aim to meet the minimum legal compliance. Moreover, the study finds that a clear and well-structured code of ethics is crucial for strengthening corporate governance because it reduces ethical risk, encourages rule compliance, and promotes transparency and accountability. However, its impact goes beyond just being written down. To be truly effective po, it must be supported by ethical leadership, employee training and participation, as well as regular updates. So these efforts ensures consistent ethical behavior and support organizations' long-term success and sustainability. Lastly, this study highlights that applying ethical principles in business strengthens stakeholders' relationship, which enhance organizational reputation and supports long-term success. So, upholding values po such as honesty, fairness, and accountability can build trust which can lead to a better collaboration and fewer conflicts. And this trust-based connection po also encourage stronger support for the organization's goals. Therefore, ethics not only guide decision-making and behavior, but also act as a unifying force connecting all stakeholders and aligning them with the company's broader mission and objectives. And that concludes our discussion on the executive summary. Thank you.
As we end this presentation, let us be aware that a strong code of ethics is essential for building trust and accountability. Engaging stakeholders in its development ensures different perspectives and fosters a shared commitment to ethical practices. This is not just a set of rules or formality, but a culture that guides the organization forward. That is all for our research. Thank you.